Here are some exercises that you can do to work on your toe point and your arch. We have Andrea here that's going to be assisting us with a demonstration. The very first exercise that you can do, you're going to need a yoga block. What you're going to do is stand next to a wall or a pole or something that's going to help keep you upright, and you're going to stand with your feet block width apart. Standing next to the pole, I'm going to bring this block and you will place it in between your ankles, pressing the block nice and firm in place. From here, you are going to raise up onto your toes as far as you can go, pushing the fronts of your feet forward, and then you will come back down, making sure you're maintaining that pressure onto the block. Couple things you want to be mindful of is making sure that you're not curling the toes underneath your feet, so really crunching them in. You want to just keep them nice and pressed into the floor, and you also want to make sure that you're not caving those ankles out or too far in, making sure they're tracking forward. And you can do a few sets of these, but just starting off with 10 is a great start until you start to get better at all those cues. So for our second exercise, we're going to be coming down on the floor, and for this one you won't need any equipment to begin with. We're just going to be working on our range of motion through these ankles and toes. This is simple, but it can mess with the head a little bit, so it's super important you think of every step and not rush these movements. So what we're going to do to begin with is we're going to flex the feet, keeping the toes up towards the ceiling towards you. So flexing the feet towards you, toes up to ceiling. From there, you are going to actively flex the toes towards you. From here, you will point the feet, but keep the toes flexed, and then you're going to point the toes. When you point the toes, you want to make sure that you're not curling and crunching those toes underneath you. Focus on pointing the big toe as far away from you as you can, with your other little toes following. And you want to get into a rhythm of doing this. So it will go flex feet, flex toes, point feet, point toes, flex toes, flex feet, point feet, good, point toes. Once you're confident with this, you can begin to add on your TheraBand. Now, if you're using a TheraBand, once you feel like you're ready, you're just going to place this around the tops of your feet and do the exact same process. But just keep in mind, now that you've got something underneath, it can cause you to start to curl the toes, so just be really conscious that you are separating those movements, and when you point the toes are going away from you and not crunching in. So with the band, it is point, point, flex, flex, point, point, flex, flex. And that is our second exercise. Now, our third exercise, you can do this starting off from a sitting position, or you can do it standing. It is going to be personal preference of what feels the most comfortable for you. Now, this is called doming. What you're going to do is placing your foot out to the side or in front of you, wherever you want. You want to make sure that your toes are out and flat on the ground, not crunching underneath you. What will happen from here, again, toes are nice and out, you're going to press the toes down into the ground, and you're going to start to slide them back towards you. When you get to a point where they're about to crunch under, you want to stop and release. From here, again, you just want to repeat those motions. You press your toes down into the ground, completely extended, pressing as much as you can, and then from there start to slide the toes back towards you whilst they press, and then at that last moment when they start to curl, go back to extension. That is a really simple but challenging exercise to do to get that toe point nice and strong. Once you've done it a few times on the floor, try it standing. You might find it a little bit easier because there's weight on it and you can really feel that tension on the floor. So those are 3 tips that you can do to start working on a nice and strong toe point and nice and strong toes and ankles.